Welcome to our Mock Interview Pro series, where today we're diving into the world of auditing. Whether you're gearing up for your first auditor interview or aiming to polish your skills, we've got the insights you need to shine. Let's kick things off with a question that highlights one of the crucial traits every auditor should have: attention to detail. Can you share a time when your keen attention to detail helped your company avoid a costly mistake? Interviewers ask this to see how your detail-oriented skills can impact a company positively. Here's how you can craft a compelling response. Pick an example where precision was vital. Clearly explain the situation and potential risks. Describe your actions that demonstrated your attention to detail. Highlight the positive outcome, using metrics if possible. Let's look at a polished example answer.
In my previous auditing role, I was examining financial statements before a major audit. I noticed an inconsistency in the revenue figures that, left unchecked, would have resulted in inaccurate final reports. I brought this to my manager's attention, allowing us to correct the error in time and save the company from potential fines.
By the way, we're only covering a handful of questions in this video, but I've prepared a free PDF with all 30 top interview questions for auditor. It also includes example answers and tips to help you prepare with confidence. The download link is just below. Tell me about a time when you had to explain complex financial information to someone without a financial background. How did you ensure clarity? This question helps interviewers assess your ability to communicate complex ideas simply and effectively, especially to those outside your field. Here are some pointers to help you respond. Choose an example that clearly illustrates the scenario. Use simple language, avoiding technical terms. Break down the information into digestible parts. Engage your audience by asking questions and inviting feedback. Use visual aids or analogies to further clarify concepts. Now, here's an example of how you might answer.
In my previous role, I presented our quarterly financial results to the marketing team. I broke down the key metrics, using a pie chart to illustrate revenue trends. I paused frequently to invite questions, which helped ensure everyone was on the same page.
Can you describe an ethical dilemma you encountered in your auditing work and how you handled it? This question is designed to gauge your integrity and how you handle challenging ethical situations. Let's go over some tips to effectively convey your experience. Identify a specific incident and clearly outline the dilemma. Highlight the factors that made it an ethical issue. Detail the actions you took and your reasoning. Discuss the outcome and what you learned from the experience. Reflect on how this has shaped your future approach to ethical challenges. Here's a concise example to guide your response.
In my last position, I uncovered a major discrepancy in a client's financial records suggesting potential fraud. I faced the dilemma of reporting it, knowing it might harm the client's reputation. After consulting with my supervisor, we reported it to the compliance team, ensuring transparency and safeguarding ethical standards. The client valued our commitment to integrity.
During an audit, if you suspect that some documents have been altered, what steps would you take? This question tests your problem-solving skills and adherence to ethical standards in a sensitive situation. Let's look at some strategies to handle this effectively. Remain calm and objective to avoid confrontation. Gather evidence to document any discrepancies. Consult with team members or supervisors for their input. Communicate findings discreetly but transparently. Follow established protocols for reporting such issues. Here's an example of how to approach this scenario.
First, I would verify the discrepancies by comparing the documents with original sources. Then, I'd document my findings and discuss them with my supervisor to determine the next steps according to our audit protocol.
How would you go about planning an audit for a company that has never been audited before? Interviewers want to see how you approach the challenge of auditing a new company from scratch. Here's how you can outline your approach. Conduct a preliminary risk assessment to identify key areas of concern. Engage with management to understand their processes and internal controls. Gather relevant financial and operational data to get to know the company. Clearly define the scope and objectives of the audit. Develop a comprehensive audit timeline and resource plan based on your findings. Let's see how you can put that into words.
I'd start with a preliminary risk assessment to identify any high-risk areas. Then I'd meet with management to understand their processes and controls. Armed with this data, I'd set the audit scope and develop a detailed timeline for our audit activities.
Before we wrap up, remember you can get all 30 questions, example answers, and step-by-step tips in a handy PDF. Totally free. Just grab it below.